you?
How you doing, Trey? Good to be here.
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, I want to learn all about it, but first, I always love to ask about you before we talk about the organization. What brought you into this line of work?
You got enough time. What
the,
brought
the short
the
version.
short version? The short version is just having a heart for children in our community, wanting to see them thrive, wanting to see them grow up to be adults. I started out as an educator, working with children, and I really got frustrated seeing kids have issues that they were dealing with at home, and then struggling coming to school and trying to learn. So I switched gears, went into the human service field, and just started working with family and children and wanting to see them thrive and do better with themselves.
Well, that's really great to hear. I mean, we need services like that for sure, particularly ones that are focusing on not just the youth, but the family as well, because we understand there's a lot of family dynamics that happen at home that then kids bring into the educational
Absolutely.
environments.
Yep.
Tell us more about the work that y'all do over there.
What we do at Southeast, we do behavioral health services, we do early childhood education, youth development, all sorts of things where we're supporting families. During COVID, we were doing rental assistance, we were doing food security for people. So we just try to provide, just try to fill in the gaps where we can for whatever the community may need or want.
Yeah. Well, this is really the heart of service, right? I mean, you have to be able to have that in order to do this line of work, knowing that there's a insurmountable amount sometimes of work. How do you deal with that balance there, Anthony?
Well, it's the passion, like you said, it's the heart, and you find your balance when you find your passion, and I'm passionate about this work. Staff is passionate about the work. We love what we do, and we're here for it, and family is also another way to get balance. Having a strong family around you that keeps you going. Friends in the community keep you going. So it's all about the passion, having some family, and really wanting to see the community thrive.
Yeah, that's important. What kind of ways do y'all get out there to connect with families?
We're out there connecting with young families via, just at the parks. If we see them at a farmer's market, we're connecting with families. Walking past our building, we're connecting with families. Connecting, a lot of, it's funny, a lot of times families are connecting us with other families.
Nice.
That's that, and I find that to be a real testament of the work that we do, is that for another family to refer us to other families in the community, especially when we're working with immigrant or refugee or first settler families, where they find us to be a trusted partner enough to connect us with another family that is in the same situation they're in.
Well, I also think too, it must really speak volumes to the services y'all provide for folks to really feel that you're coming from a good place, right? I mean, we talk about this in terms of governmental systems. You think about stuff like DSHS and things like that, but it's so not personable, right? It's not relational. It's very transactional, and people go in and they feel exposed, and they have to be vulnerable, and they have to share so much about themselves. And I'm sure y'all take a different approach. Tell us a bit about that too, about the approach that you take as a family's first coming into you to your services, to your organization. What does that intake look like for them?
So the intake is, you first of all, there'll be a referral from either a school, a family member, or they may even walk in themselves, right? And so they'll meet with one of our intake counselors. But where the real magic for us happens at is what you're talking about, that personal connection, is that one of our pillars and within our organization is a cultural match or linguistic match. So like I said earlier, we serve a lot of first settlers to this community, and we match them with someone that looks like them, that speaks like them. So if we're serving an Ethiopian family, they'll get an Ethiopian counselor. They'll get an Ethiopian home visitor, someone that you see yourself in them. Your kids can see them. You'll open the door. It's really the bonding that happens, right? And that's how we're able to continue to serve the community. We got a program where we're serving young children for 2 years. And could you imagine the trust that family has in us to let them in their home for 2 years?
Yeah.
Twice a week, this person's coming into my home. And so there has to be something other than the book or toy that we bring that really has these family opening the door for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're really talking about a culturally responsive approach to the work, which we know doesn't always exist because oftentimes there's a very wide blanket, right? Like a wide net that's cast that people are like, this doesn't, I mean, this doesn't suit me, right?
Hmm.
But you know, a lot of families find themselves in need. And so they deal with whatever those parameters look like. And I love really hearing this. I mean, this means that you have done the work to have a diverse set of staff. I mean, as you have been building this up, you know, as you leading this charge, what does that look like for you in terms of getting the right people to be staff for your organization?
A lot of patience.
Yeah, I bet.
We're really relying on the community to even refer employees to us, right? We want to create an opportunity for people. We lower the boundaries, the barriers, so that people can come into work, right? Having a second language is a skill,
Yeah.
right? And so sometimes that's not really honored in a lot of places. And so we honor that. I think we have within our organization we speak 5 or 6 different languages within our
Nice.
organization. So we're really intentional about who we hire and how we hire. We really want to be fair. We really want to be open and encourage everyone to apply for jobs and things like that. But ultimately, it's because we want to do a good job for our families.
Well, that's really clear here, Anthony. And I mean, it's speaking volumes because I think that this is what we need in our city, in cities all over the state. We need these kinds of approaches. I'm always talking about the fact that in communities, the solutions are already there, right? It's just a matter of resourcing those solutions and organizations so that they have sustainability, so that they can continue to do their work and they can scale up their impact,
Mhm.
right? That's really the key here. And we know, you know, nonprofit can be exhaustive, grant writing and trying to connect with foundations and funders and investors. That's a whole work. And I'm sure that's also on your shoulders. What type of ways do you find yourself in that realm of the work?
Um, you know, that's the hard part about the job, right? That's like you said, that's the fun part is getting the money, but going after, trying to be in front of people, that's difficult. And that's the struggle because I really want to spend my time working with families. I really
Yeah.
want to spend my time building our organization to serve families. But when it comes to writing grants, meeting with funders and things like that, and getting a chance to share our story, share some stories of our successes, and even share the stories of our challenges,
Mm.
right? And just so people can hear and know, you kind of take on an education kind of advocacy, put on your advocacy hat
Yeah.
letting people be aware of what's going on out here. Because if you don't know, you don't know,
Hmm.
right? And so it's up to us as nonprofits to continue to educate the community about some of the things that we all have our own lives. We're busy. We have things going on, but sometimes we want to stop and read a newsletter that says, "Hey, people out here are doing good things.
Yeah.
There's families out here really growing and thriving and being sustainable." That's kind of in our mission. We have 3 S's: stability, sustainability, and I'm missing the last one. But basically being being self-sufficient
Yeah.
and being able to stand up on your own and find community within what you're doing and have community and be a part of community.
Well, you know, just when you first started explaining it, this is exactly what community building looks like, right? I mean, this is providing an opportunity for families to not just connect with your organization, but to also connect with each other. And as you said, you know, families are impacted in a positive way by the services y'all are offering them. So they're bringing more families in. I mean, that level right there of just kind of that word of mouth and how it
Yes.
works and how it spreads in our communities is so key. But also, too, I just want to give you kudos because my mother spent decades, it seems like. I mean, maybe it was just 15 years, almost 20 years, working as a family support worker in the schools, Seattle public schools. And what you're describing to me is what they like. She would be there for the families, whatever they needed, right? And she was one of those family support workers that didn't say, oh, that's not my job, or that's not in my job description, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
doing that. She
Mm-hmm.
was like, what do my people need?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's really what it sounds like y'all are doing. So kudos to you for really filling the void, because family support worker program funding got cut, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
they had to
Yes.
start pulling them out of schools. And we see that there's oftentimes a community-based solution that steps up to
Yeah.
fill the void.
Yep.
And so just really appreciate the work you're doing out here. And of course, anytime y'all have an event going on or anything you want to share, the Day with Trae is here for you. We'll be part of the Southeast Youth and Family Services family as
Thank you.
well. And you are part of the Day with Trae family. I want you to look right there. Make sure folks know how they can connect with you and tap in if they are looking for services and resources, or if they're looking maybe to be one of those new staff folks on your team. Let them know how
Absolutely.
they find you.
Hey, this is Anthony Otto from Southeast Youth and Family Services. If you're looking to connect with services, if you're looking for employment, go to our website, www.seyfs.org, and come be a part of our family. Everyone is family. We are a family centered organization. And thank you for having me.
Of course, Anthony. Great work, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Ooh, y'all, I'm telling you.